Welcome back to PCTV. Thank you very much for all of our subscribers, all of our followers and all of the fantastic comments we had from our video last time. We're really enjoying doing these videos for you, and we really hope that you like what we've got in store for you this week.
So last week Tom and I had the privilege of presenting to a group of young farmers. The talk that we did there was entitled Tom's Type and Ross's Reasons, and it just went through a few pertinent points about dairy cows. The link to that video for any of you that missed it is in the comment section below the video, so click on that link and you'll see a full-length video of our presentation on that night.
This diagram depicts the true type model. It might be old news for some of you, you may have seen this diagram before. We make reference to her quite a lot in this video and then also in the presentation that Tom and Ross gave last week. It is the world's optimal cow, deemed the most efficient way of producing milk. As a follow-up, Ross managed to catch up with Andrew Cope from Huddlesford Holsteins to just explore how breeding for conformation has enabled him to construct a profitable business.
Hi guys, welcome back to the second edition of PCTV. I'm Ross and I'm here now with Andy Cope. We're down in Staffordshire. Obviously last week Tom and myself had a presentation for young farmers and HYB members regarding the true type model and what that means, and a little bit about stock judging. And just as a follow-up to that, we've come down to Staffordshire to meet with Andy. This is the home of the Huddlesford herd of Holsteins, a famous prefix within our breed. And we've just come to speak to Andy just to see what type really means to him and things that we can learn from Andy's experience with cows. So Andy, thanks for letting us come to your place today. I wonder if you could just start off by telling us a little bit about the history of Huddlesford Holsteins and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I was very lucky really. My granddad started the Huddlesford herd. He took over a farm in 1936 and very soon got into milking cows, and wasn't long milking cows before he realised that he wanted good cows and pedigree cows. My dad obviously took that on to a different level in the 80s, 90s and 2000s, where he got really into the top end, interested in Canadian genetics, bringing cows in. And I followed on from that, trying to follow in their footsteps and hopefully put my own angle on it. So, but I've been very lucky that I had a grassroots start.
Yeah. Absolutely, and one thing that you've pointed out, I know in conversations we've had before, is that good cows are good cows no matter what time or era they came from. There's certain things about these cows that we'll look for that stand the test of time no matter when the system is. So Huddlesford obviously has been synonymous with good cows for a long number of years. Obviously you had a sale, it's probably 8 or 9 years ago, is it now? But ever since then you've still been milking cows, so can you just tell us a little bit about what you do now?
Well, regularly we've had sales. I mean, I think if you invest in the pedigree industry, there's always got to be reward, otherwise there's no reason to do it. Right now we're back up to 250 cows, which is probably as big as we have been. We're averaging close to 11,000 on twice a day milking, with an emphasis on type cow families and good bulls, which is what we've always bred for and what I was brought up to believe in.
Yeah. And like you say, that's something that's not really changed over the history of Huddlesford. So you're milking 250 cows now at home, but also I believe you have other business interests as well. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, me and my business partner Isaac Lancaster, we run a company called the Livestock Exchange. We fell into this company more by accident than on purpose. It was between us, we always helped neighbours and friends find animals to buy replacements for their dairy farms, and it's grown and expanded. We now import around 1,500 cows a year from Europe, but we also find animals in the UK, anything from commercial milkers down to a show calf or a show cow.
And we'll speak about a little bit later when we maybe go out and see some cows, but the principles I believe that you sort of run your farm at home on are the same principles as you look at when you're buying cattle for other people. And I don't know if you want to just touch on quickly just a couple of things that you really look for when you're looking at cows.
Well, I'm a big believer that the whole dairy industry should really be looking for the same thing. And when we say type, for me, it's functional type. I think the two words should always go together, because it doesn't matter whether it's a show ring or you're buying somebody 35 commercials to take home and try and make money out of. We're looking for good legs and feet that get them around the farm. You're looking for a good wide udder with good teat placement, excellent clefts so they last and give plenty of milk. You're looking for power, size, depth, with a body that's able to turn forage and any other feed into as many litres as possible. And to me, everybody in the industry should be looking for that. That's how I feel.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's the PCTV team, that's what we feel that is something that's possibly being sidelined a little bit, but we really feel that that is an important part of our industry. Right, so Andy, we're out where the magic happens, as they say. This is a cow that I believe you've been pretty successful with in years previous. When we were at the table, you mentioned functional type. Would you mind just sort of explaining to us what you mean when you say functional type and what it is you're actually looking for when you talk about that?
Yeah, well, for me, functional type is all about a cow that is built and put together functionally correctly to be able to produce a lot of milk, live a long life, troublesome free, on a very busy, big-sized dairy farm under a lot of competition. So, I mean, the obvious points really, they've got to have a great set of legs and feet. They've got to be able to get around. They've not got to be lame. They've got to be able to get to and from with as much, with as little problems as possible. Then udder, you want a big wide udder. We all want plenty of capacity, so to give plenty of milk. We want it high up, well out of the dirt, clean, an excellent placement of teats and a good udder cleft so as it lasts as many calves as possible. And then probably the third most important part's the rump, because it's all about getting the cow in calf. One of the main reasons we lose cows on farms is lameness, mastitis or not pregnant. So they're the three key things to me. Yeah. And then on top of that, then it gets down to more finicky, powerful big cows that convert a lot of feed into a lot of milk.
So as you can see in this cow, how many cows has she had now, Andy?
4 calves.
So 4 calves. She's got a really nice top line. She's really strong through her spine. As Andy's already said, she's got a great rump. And when you get behind this cow, you can see how much width she has between her pins, and that width carries down into her rear udder. But functionally, this cow, she's got great legs and feet. She's got plenty of power in her front end, and she's got a really well attached udder. And I think that's what you mean when you say functional type, isn't it?
Yes, completely. I mean, for me, if you're a breeder, when people say you're breeding for type, you're breeding for functional type, and what you're actually doing, in my opinion, is trying to use your eye rather than what you're told on paper.
Because obviously, like you just said, every system's slightly different, and you know what works for the cows on this farm because of its various challenges and various sort of bottlenecks, and obviously that has to come into account when you're talking about breeding cows.
Yes, I mean, there's been a big swing back from size recently over the last few years. I totally agree. Nobody needs absolutely massive cows, and some people want them smaller than me. But to me, I want still a big, strong cow that can eat a lot of forage and turn it into a lot of milk. And we have a system built for big cows, so I'm not going to stop breeding for big cows, but like everybody else, we've all stopped breeding for extreme cows.
I think that's a good point you make, that extreme cows are the things that cause the problem. Now when we talk about what Tom and I talked about a lot last week was balanced breeding, and big cows are okay as long as they've got the width and the capacity and the extra conformation traits to cope with that. It's when you, like you say, you go for an extreme trait like stature or one of these other traits in an extreme, that's when you begin to get the problems.
We have 120 cubicles alongside bedded yards on our farm, and I'm a big believer that size isn't the problem with cubicles. We have cows with a stature of 5 that struggle to get in and out of cubicles, and cows with a stature of 9 that are totally fine and enjoy living in cubicles. For me, it's not about stature, it's more about legs, feet, fill position mainly, and also top line that gives these cows the power and strength to get in and out of cubicles.
Yeah, and we can see on this cow that she's, if you look at the cow's rump, she's got a really great rump, and her thorough placement's really good. And that actually carries through into the strength that she has through her loin, which enables her to get up and down easily and have that power and strength, like you say. So going back to buying cows, obviously when we were around the table we talked about parts of your business, mainly the livestock exchange, where you're buying and selling cows for various breeders and commercial dairymen in the UK. You're not looking for anything different when you're selecting those cows?
Not completely. You have to slightly change the goalposts. If somebody wants to buy 35 milkers at a pretty low budget, you're obviously not going to buy in 35 national winners. But the basics are the basics. We're looking for good legs and feet, good udders, good rumps and good strong cows at whatever level we're buying them at. And to me, whether I'm buying for me or somebody else, doesn't really make any difference. Every time I buy an animal, I think, would I like to buy that animal? Would I like to milk that animal? And that's what it comes down to.
And obviously that's sort of verified by the fact that these customers that you have keep coming back and they want to buy those animals again, because you and Isaac and whoever else is involved with that business look at the cows and select them on those traits.
Yes, I think that's probably where Livestock differ to perhaps some of our competitors. We buy 90% on eye, 10% on paper, whereas probably a lot of our competitors buy on figures and what have you. For us, we're buying a functional cow that can compete in herds as big as 800-900 cows, 1,000 cows, and is going to survive, last, and do the farmer a fantastic lifetime yield.
So Andy, another sort of aspect to life with cows is you've obviously done fairly well over the years being involved with judging shows and various different stock judging events and stuff. What was it that drew you into that?
Well, to be quite honest, going back from my young farmer HYB background, we were always taught to compete in judging competitions. It was always nice to compare your eye against other top breeders' eyes, which to me is what judging competitions are. I believe everybody has their own opinion, but if all the top breeders are looking for similar type of cows, we're all heading in the same direction. So it goes all the way back from HYB, and I've just continued it on I've been lucky enough now to be selected on the European judging panel, one of only 4 judges in the UK, and it's a real honour and a real privilege, but it comes right back from the basic beginnings of HYB stock judging nights.
Yeah. And again, you know, obviously you've just been lucky enough to be invited out to Hungary to judge their national show, and I can only imagine that when you're out in Hungary you're looking for the same kind of things as you're looking for at home.
Absolutely. To me, wherever I am in the world, whether I'm in my own shed down here or in a ring in Hungary judging their national show, I'm still looking for the type of cow I'd really like to milk when I'm at home.
Yeah.
And she might be just everything I'm looking for compared to when I'm at home. I'm trying to improve lower standard cows, but with every cow I'm aiming for the same true type model, really.
Yeah. And that leads itself quite nicely onto as well that obviously you've mentioned that you've been involved with this from quite a young age, and one thing that we maybe sometimes don't say too much about actually in terms of pedigree cattle is the other aspects that it brings to us, you know, in terms of a social aspect and involvement with different events. What comments have you got to make about that kind of thing?
If I'm 100% honest, as much fun as I have working and breeding cows, the most amazing part to me is where the Holstein cow has took me, the people I've met because of the Holstein cow, the places I've been because of the Holstein cow. And if I could encourage any youngsters that are iffing and butting about getting involved in the pedigree industry, my first view would be think of the fun, think of the people you'll meet, think of the places it'll take you. And I'm not talking as extreme as me where I've just been and judged the Hungarian national, but on any family farm for not much money now you can invest in a calf that's a really nice calf with a really nice pedigree, and it'll take you to local shows, possibly the national show, and along all that route you'll be making good friends and having good fun. And we shouldn't be embarrassed that we enjoy our showing, we enjoy the people we show with, and to me it's very underestimated, and as I say, some of my lifelong friends have come from shows and HYB events.
I would have to agree with you. I mean, all four of us at PCTV have a real affinity towards the people that we've met because of, like you say, the Holstein cow. And all four of us, I'm sure, can say that probably wouldn't be where we were today if it wasn't for that. So we really appreciate people like you emphasising that, because if we can encourage other people to go, not specifically go down exactly the same route as we've gone down, but get involved with the industry and meet those people, then it can only be a good thing for everyone involved.
Well, to me, the pedigree industry, there's lots of ways, angles to look at it. You can invest in the hope that you're going to make money. You can invest in the hope you're going to improve your own herd. You can invest just to enjoy it at home, but you can also invest like a hobby, where actually, like going out and playing golf at a weekend or joining a health club, you can spend time doing something you really enjoy with people who enjoy the same thing and get a lot of pleasure out of it.
Yeah. Well, Andy, thank you very much for your time. It's always good to be able to see the cows and to talk to people like you. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to speak to us. So thank you very much, and we'll speak to you
again. Thank you for listening to me.
Cheers.
That's it for this week. Remember to follow our socials, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and join us again in 2 weeks for the next episode.